Hi everyone, I'm Michael Tabaradi of michaeltabaradi.com, and I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. Now in this video, I'm going to be talking about why education is so important for actually getting started in your business. There's no point getting started if you have no idea of what your industry is about or what you're trying to do when it comes to your business. Now, I actually started avidly reading back, I would say maybe in 2010, 2011. And, you know, obviously in nursery and all that kind of stuff, I was reading Biff and Chip books and all that kind of stuff. And maybe the most major book I read, which was, you know, at the age of 11, was The Hobbit. But apart from that, and I didn't really like reading. You know, I wasn't really a reader. I just couldn't be bothered. You know, I just thought I knew enough, and what's the point? You know, I think it's a level of laziness, but I think I was occupied by other stuff like sports and all this kind of stuff. Look at me, you know, thinking of excuses. But the point being made is I didn't like to read. It was a mistake, so to speak, because there's so much I could have actually got from other people's organized thoughts and ideas, so I can start thinking about what I need to do for my life. And it was only up until where I got challenged by one of my team leaders back in St. George's when I used to work in the hospital back there, where the woman was like to me, "What books do you like to read?" And I said, "I don't like reading." And she was like, whoa, come on, man, there's so much you can get from books. And she was quite surprised because we used to have what I would like to call deep and intellectual conversations. So she challenged me to actually start reading books. I was like, I'm not gonna do this. But I took her up on her offer, and what really pursued me to actually start reading was listening to Will Smith's Words of Wisdom. Some guy in YouTube back in the day created a compilation of different Will Smith videos and put them together to really provide some sort of wisdom that comes from Will Smith. And you can see he's doing fantastically on YouTube and Instagram right now. So that's what led me on to doing all of this stuff. And the first book that I read back in that sort of period was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And if you haven't read The Alchemist, I'm going to leave a link to it below. It's a fantastic book. It's fiction. I guess it's fiction. Yeah, it's made up, so to speak, but it's based on some really good principles that are required for success in general, and faith and belief in oneself and one's pursuits and goals. We're not talking about The Alchemist. We're talking about why reading is really important and why education is really important, because that led me onto doing a whole host of reading that has taken me down this whole path of awesomeness. I really love it. Since 2011, I've read over 250 plus different books on psychology, on mindset, on human development, on behaviorism, on marketing, on business, on personal branding, all of this kind of stuff. And obviously there's so much more that I'm going to read. But now it's got to a point where I'm like, okay, there's only so much reading that one can do. Some people will be like, no, you should keep on reading. But in my mind, it's like, I just want to take action now. It's only like that because I have that knowledge. It's at a point where I'm like, okay, I've done enough now. I need to take action. I need to take action. And that's what books can do when you read avidly or listen avidly or watch avidly. When you educate yourself to a point where it's like, whoa, I need to start taking action, because doing this stuff where I'm really just taking in all this information is exhausting. It takes a lot of energy out of you. So I started reading quite avidly. I was reading at least probably 24 books a year, maybe something like that. I don't know the maths, but I know it's around 250 plus. So you can do the maths yourself. So make sure you start reading, okay? If you like reading books, then make sure you get reading books. If you like listening to books, then make sure you listen to Audible. And don't try to be cheap, okay? And try to sort of like download it off YouTube and then, you know, MP3, you know, and put it onto your phone or iPhone or whatever it is. Like, don't try and be cheap about it. Like, just get the book, you know? Just get the book, and if you don't like it, take it back. It's not a big deal. You know, at the end of the day, it's about your education. It's about making sure that you know how to apply yourself in a specific field, okay? So a lot of books I've read is non-fiction, but if you need books to sort of wind down as well, maybe put that into your schedule as well. But here it's about education. It's about understanding what your industry is doing. So much, you're tired of reading and you just need to take action. Many of you are blessed with the fact that you can just take action, but if you're not, it's about education. The second thing I would say to you is watch as many YouTube videos as possible. Haha, of course you would say that. But I mean that sincerely, because at the end of the day, YouTube is a free resource. It's the second biggest search engine in the world. And it means that there is so much information out there that can help you position yourself for success if you choose to take the resource. Like, I used to sort of like watch YouTube videos really fast, like in speed 2 when, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. In speed 2, basically to to get me to encapsulate the information really quickly. Because when I'm listening to audiobooks, I listen to that at probably anywhere between 1.2 to about 2.2 speed. I can't really do 3, it's too quick for me, but around 1.7 is like my average. Because I take in that information quickly, and I take in what I need, and I disregard what I don't want. But what I'm saying is now YouTube allows you to listen at a higher speed. So I would get used to practicing listening to stuff and watching stuff in a faster speed. Start off obviously with speed 1, move up to 1.25, move up to 1.5, and then gradually move up to 2. I think there's a 1.75, but who cares? The point being made is get comfortable with listening to things fast, because if you can do that, then you're going to consume more content, and that's more opportunity for you to learn stuff and then teach other people how to do it, especially if you've done it yourself, because it's important to action what you've learned. So listen to as much YouTube videos as possible. Create a playlist, okay? Create a playlist that is attributed to maybe sort of like the type of videos that you listen to, or maybe a certain category of videos that you listen to that are useful in terms of what you're aiming to do. Just create playlists, or a playlist that you can come back to just in case you forget how to do something, okay? With this whole sort of like platform on YouTube is great because it means that you can actually sort of like follow what a person is doing, okay? Or listen to what they're saying, regardless of what it is very, very important. So get used to sort of like watching YouTube on a regular basis. I know for me, I checked my YouTube stats. I think this is a couple of days ago. I watch at least 8 hours of YouTube a week. Okay, I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if that's a lot or if it's not a lot, but those are my stats. Okay, I watch a lot of YouTube apparently. In my opinion, 8 hours, it's a full working day. So at the end of the day, like, get used to it. That's all I'm saying. So educate yourself avidly. The third thing is making sure that you actually attend the right events, okay? Attend expos. I think they are so important, especially for validation, especially if you can actually have your own store, but we'll talk about that at a later date. Go to sort of like networking events, go to events where you can learn things yourself and speak to people in your industry, because if you can do that, again, you're just surrounded by people who can actually sort of like experience what you're experiencing, relate to you as an individual, or teach you, okay? It's very important. And if you can get that sort of education, again, it's just invaluable. It's just really important because you're interacting with people who've dealt with this before or are dealing with it, so you can relate to them. What I would also say is also make sure that you get some sort of education for a course, okay? This could be an online course, this could be a workshop, just something that breaks down the process, okay? And you may have to pay a lot for it. You may not have to. Maybe you don't want to get a course. The reason why sometimes I think it's good to get a course is because if you commit money to something, then you take it more seriously and you're more likely to understand or respect what it is that you need to do. You don't have to take a course. You can do everything I just said and be fine, okay? Wow, I've got some wings on my arms. Whoa, that was embarrassing. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought. The point being made is if you pay like an investment towards something, then what happens is you can actually sort of respect that thing that you're actually taking on board. So maybe you want to pay for a course. Maybe you want to pay for mentors or coaches. Again, I don't believe you have to do this, because for me personally, at least, yes, I've paid money to get taught by different people and go into different programs and stuff. But even though it's taught me a lot, I can still have the argument that a lot of the really solid information I've learned has been online as well. It's a combination of the two. You have to kind of weigh up for yourself. I'm not going to say yay or nay. You just need to get an education. You just need to make sure that you're serious about what you're doing, because if you're not going to be serious about it, if you're not going to invest your time and energy and spirit into it, you're just wasting your time. So maybe you should, actually pay for these courses, because at the end of the day, you're going to get some sort of opinion or context of view to say that was really good or that wasn't really good. And if it wasn't really good, how would you do it? How would you change the status quo? How would you improve the situation? It's something for you to think about. And I would also say, if you're an ambitious individual, if you're a leader, which I think you are, and you're a personal brand and all that kind of stuff, then create your own sort of accountability buddy. I've had one for the past 2 years and I've loved it. But also create your own monthly or bi-weekly mastermind group where you can talk to like-minded individuals, minimum 5 including you, and speak about sort of different things on a regular basis, because a mastermind is so key. It just helps with sort of like putting things into context, get you to see things from a different point of view, get you to understand what other people are doing so you can understand what you can do. Having an accountability buddy is great because it means that you can be accountable for each other's actions. In other words, responsible and accountable is different, but you can actually create that structure, that pressure, that oversight to see if that other person is doing what they say they're doing, and they can do that for you as well. There's a book, Think and Grow Rich, which is fantastic. You should definitely check it out. You've probably heard of it, but Napoleon Hill was fantastic at talking about this, and that's where I got this from. And it has served me well, to the point where I don't feel like I really need a coach or a mentor or anything like that. And when I do feel like I need one, then I'll get one. It's that simple, you know, at the end of the day. Be self-sufficient. Not everyone has the funds to do it. So how are you going to be creative about the situation? Are you going to go to situations where you can get a coach or mentor? Or you're going to create that environment where you have objective people who are about their business, and you can meet with them on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, or talk to them on the phone and have a spreadsheet where you actually tick off and write in your goals, your objectives, what you've done, how you rate yourself, all that kind of stuff regularly. That's how you do it, man. So I've spoken about everything that you need in terms of your education. Number one, you need to read avidly. You need to read as many books as possible in the next 3 to 6 months, at least every week or every 2 weeks or every month. Decide what it is, but I would say a minimum of every 2 weeks if you can. Number two, go crazy on YouTube. Watch as many videos as you can around your topic. Number three, go to as many events as you can as possible just to get educated. And if you think, oh, how am I going to do all this stuff and produce content at the same time? Pause on the content, especially if you haven't or you're not doing any content at the moment. And if you are, then just think of your plan. Think about what you need to do. Something has to give. Work it out for yourself, you know, at the end of the day. So go to as many events as you can. Maybe you aim to go to one event a week, one event every 2 weeks, or one event every month. Decide what it is. Number four, you need to make sure that you network as avidly as possible, both online and offline, because people like speaking to people like speaking to relatable people, and you need to be able to see what the industry and the market is saying. I don't know what number I'm on, probably 5 or 6. Let's just say 5 for banter. Maybe you want to get a mentor or coach, okay? Very important to have that sort of like experience come down on you, but maybe your mentor or coach has been through books and YouTube, as an example, okay? Number 6, you know, invest into a course, invest into a program that will either give you the qualification or the understanding in order for you to position yourself as an expert for your specific audience. Number 7, get an accountability buddy. Okay, I stress this, like an accountability buddy is so important, and make sure you get the right sort of person, and don't be scared to fire an accountability buddy if it's not working out, because at the end of the day, it's your life. I hope this is giving you some sort of vigor, some vim, some flame, some fire towards what you need to do in order to be educated, especially if you haven't got started. And if you have got started but you're a bit confused, educate yourself, man. It's about education, and create that sort of structure as well. Because once you get educated, you need to be writing notes as well. Don't just be reading and listening or watching YouTube. Write notes, organize it, structure it, and take action, man. It's about taking action so you can get results and understand what those results tell you in terms of embedding certain beliefs for you to take more action. That's just how the game works, man. It's action, results, embedded beliefs, X, Y, and Z. Tony Robbins talks about this in his, I think he calls it the success wheel. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, hopefully this has given you the right sort of information. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Leave any comments that you think would be useful in terms of how you educate yourself, what are you doing currently right now, and how other people can better educate themselves. And don't forget to, I think I said this already, don't forget to subscribe. I'm kind of getting used to this subscribe thing. Anyway, take care, God bless, and understand, reach, expand. Peace.